Okay, good evening, folks, and welcome to episode 7 of the Vegan Hour. This is Tuesday, April the 3rd, and I am joined tonight by Peter Ledwidge, who is going to be telling us all about the Noosa Vegan Festival. Welcome along, Peter.
Thanks, Harry. It's great to be here.
Now, I'd love to get some feedback on audio from people listening, and let us know if the audio is good and strong. This is the first time that the Vegan Hour has used this particular type of software that we're using. So let's keep the fingers crossed that it works as well as promised. Now, just while some people are coming online, I'm just going to mention a couple of things coming up and that are on this Saturday. Also want to mention that the Vegan Hour is sponsored by Vegan Frothers, cruelty-free clothing. So get your froth on with Vegan Frothers. Now, on this Saturday, I'm having a vegan life lunch at Elixir Bar Rabina at 12 noon, and I'll be providing the link to that. And thank you, Ethan, for letting us know that the audio is good. Thank you. And also, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Farm Animal Rescue are doing a weekend camp out at Kurrawongba, and I don't know where Kurrawongba is. Have you ever heard of Kurrawongba, Peter?
Yeah, I have. So it's north of Brisbane, so just south of the Glasshouse Mountains, I think.
Okay, so it sounds like it's close to where the Farm Animal Rescue place is at Dayborough, by the sounds of it, maybe.
Yeah, in that general vicinity.
Excellent. So, okay, so that's happening this weekend, Farm Animal Rescue Weekend Camp Out. Okay, let me just, right, we've got that sorted out. Welcome aboard, everyone. Tonight, whilst I'm talking to Peter, please feel free to ask questions. Let me just see how this, oh, there we go. We can actually get the little notifications come up there like that, and then we can remove them. Interesting. I'm learning this program as on the fly, but okay. Peter, now let's start with the, I believe you're one of the organisers of the Noosa Vegan Festival.
Yeah, one of the volunteers helping with the pre-organisation. Georgina is the main organiser and instigator. So she's, delegated tasks to other people as well to help her, because it's quite a large undertaking that she's taken on.
Yes, this is the first time that anything like this has happened in Noosa. Is that right? This will be the first vegan festival in Noosa. So we're really excited about it, and we've got a great lineup of speakers and vendors and exhibitors and musicians as well, and it's going to be a great opportunity to not only showcase the vegan lifestyle, but also the growing vegan scene and opportunities on the Sunshine Coast as well. So let's just start with your involvement. What is your actual vegan background yourself, and how did you come to be involved?
So I've been a vegan for 4 years, and lived down on the Gold Coast for a few years. So some of the Gold Coast crew there might know me, and I just heard that the festival was coming up, and the organisers put a shout out for any volunteers that were available, and it's something I've always wanted to do, is to help to raise the awareness in whatever way I can. And, so obviously being a vegan ourselves, we're doing great things for the planet and the environment. But if there's any way that we can raise the awareness and the profile of it further, I was happy and eager to be involved with that.
So this is obviously something that's been planned for quite some time.
I don't know when the actual it was initially conceptualized, or if it was a sort of I think Georgina had the plan and the idea of it for a while, and then she obviously acted upon that, and then once she started to make a few inquiries, it started to gain some momentum, and then she sort of had to go ahead and officially organize it, because she had started to to put some feelers out, and it's growing in momentum, and our vendors have grown quickly, and we've got some really great people involved. Like we've Joey Carbstrong is one of our keynote speakers, and we have some great sponsors on board as well. And we're still finalizing the full schedule of events, but there's going to be a range of things. So we're going to have a fitness panel, a range of different athletes talking about their plant powered, their vegan journey. I'll hopefully get into about them in more detail later on.
Okay.
We'll have cooking demonstrations, and lots of people that have conscious businesses as well. So, they've become vegan, and then they've looked at, wanted to start a business that could either increase awareness or just give an alternative to meat and dairy options that are out there. So just hearing their stories. So it's going to be a great event for like anyone whether you're a long-time vegan, whether you're a new vegan, whether you want to come and gain all the knowledge and information that you want to to move forward with your journey, or maybe you want to strengthen your information in other areas, or you could be a business owner, or wanted to start your own business, so you gain maybe the insight and the motivation to start a conscious business that's based around purpose and saving the environment and saving the animals as well.
That's actually an interesting point too, because with festivals, I think of vegans going along and supporting them, which of course does happen. But as you say, you might be a business owner that needs some inspiration, some ideas to sort of tackle the vegan market, and that might help in that area as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a growing wave of conscious businesses, and people that are putting a purpose ahead of profits, and it's an opportunity to see that you can have a purpose-driven business, and for it to still succeed, financially and as a commercial entity. That you don't have to think that if you're purpose-driven, you don't necessarily have to be not-for-profit. You can be, profit is not all evil when it comes to being a purpose-driven enterprise. That's it.
I like that. Profit is not all evil. I think that's tonight's quote so far. That's very good. Thank you for that. So I've got the date there right, haven't I? It's Saturday, the 21st of April, up on screen. That's correct, isn't it?
That is correct, yeah.
Good. So for some reason, I was thinking it was a Sunday. So Saturday's pretty good. It actually, I'll try. I'd like to be there. I'll see how I go. It's a bit of a drive, but I'll see how I go. I'd like to check it out. It's at a place called the J. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the J in Noosa Junction, which is a live music and community arts centre, which is it's a fantastic facility. So we actually have the whole of the space for the festival, and it's includes cafe upstairs, conference areas. There's a large auditorium. There's outdoor space as well. So like outdoors, we'll have most of our food vendors and our musicians out there, and then inside in the large auditorium, we'll have our exhibitors and our speakers. So on the main stage, and then upstairs we'll have a lot of our cooking demonstrations, and we'll also have beer and wine vendors as well, so they'll be able to sample a whole range of vegan treats and goodies and cheese tasting and everything like that. So yeah, I think a lot of people will be surprised at the amount of availability and diversity that there is in vegan products nowadays. And even if you are a long time vegan, new products are always coming on the market as well, which is fantastic to see.
Yes, that's true, isn't it? It's an exciting time. Every year that comes, like last year I was saying, wow, 2017 is such an exciting time to be vegan, and now it's 2018. It's even more so. So so I was noticing that you've got some pretty good guests happening there. You've got Joey Carbstrong.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Joey's going to be he is our keynote speaker, so he'll be on about 1:30 on Saturday, and then just looking up some of my other speakers.
I see you've got Tammy and Wally Fry.
Yeah, so we've got Tammy and Wally Fry of Fry's Family Foods. Not sure. Do you know of Fry's Family Foods? I'm sure you do.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Well, me up until a few days ago, till I started, researching everyone that was coming along.
You didn't know about Fry's?
Oh, look, I probably tried some of their products, but I didn't, specifically know of Fry's exactly. But it's been amazing looking into their story and how that started and where that's come from. That started as a family business over in South Africa, and Wally was he was a farmer and sold animals for livestock, and Debbie, his wife, was a vegetarian, and slowly her vegetarian ideals obviously started to have an impact on him, and then they started the company from their kitchen with their family to provide plant-based meat alternatives, and now it's grown, and it's like they employ 300 people worldwide, so in the space of 2 decades, which is amazing.
That is amazing, isn't it? I'm just mucking around with with position of my head, which is always on the top of my body. But there is actually, talking about the Fry story, there is actually a video that I saw last year that was a recreation of their story. I think they produced it themselves, and it actually showed. Is it Wally? I think it was. He used to take pigs to be sold, I think, and then it finally just dawned on him that he couldn't do it anymore, and he sort of hung on to the last pig and took it back home with him or something. So
he had been involved. He had a construction company, and one of their projects was to build a piggery, and he was on a site inspection to review their work after it had been built, and it was a functioning piggery, and just what he saw just shocked him, obviously, and he said he could no longer support that cruelty and that sort of an industry as a meat eater.
That's right. I remember now. That's right. Yes, he saw the piggery, and then he saw what was going on, and that awakened him.
Yeah, that's right. And then and it all stemmed from there.
Which is interesting. While we're talking about that, how when people are made aware of what's actually happening to the animals, how that can have a profound impact and can shift them into going, well, I can't support this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, everybody says at heart they're an animal lover, and nobody wants to see any animals come to harm. But it's when you're faced with the actual reality of what your dietary choices are having on other beings, once you actually see it happening in front of you, you just you can't ignore it anymore.
And I want to say hello to Matt and to Elizabeth and to Ethan and to anyone else that's watching. Thanks for your comments, guys. It's interesting. I'll just doing this live stream because the comments don't automatically come up on the screen, but they're coming up underneath it. So it's a little bit different to what I'm used to, but I'm assuming that anyone else watching it is seeing all the comments coming up in any case. So, and talking about which, I provided a link to the Noosa Vegan Festival's Facebook page. So that is, I'll put that in the comments. Are you seeing the comments come up? Are you?
No, I'm not seeing them
No.
from my end. I just have a notification that comments are coming in, but oh no, actually it is. It's there. It is in red.
Yeah, like I can bring a comment up like that, you know, and then I can hide it again.
There it is.
So
yeah.
But the only problem with doing that is I lose what I had there a minute ago, which was the Noosa Vegan Festival typed in there. Bugger. We're learning as we go along. Okay.
That's right.
So,
that's what it's all about.
So so the festival starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday the 21st. 10 a.m. and goes to 4 p.m.
Till 4 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, or until everybody gets thrown out in a drunken stupor.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it won't won't come to that. Always drink responsibly, of course.
Well, I drink responsibly. I don't drink at all. That's responsible.
Yeah, that's very responsible.
I'm just going to put this. Let's just put it back up there again. There we go. Right. Now, so do we have some other speakers? We've got Joey Carbstrong. We've got Tammy and Wally Fry. Were you saying that there were other speakers as well?
There are other speakers. Yeah. So one of the other speakers is a gentleman by the name of James Perrin. So he's a very interesting gentleman. So he describes himself as a vegan sustainability manager, and he lives on an organic fruit farm outside of Byron Bay. So as he said himself, he's a walking cliche for the area, which I thought was good humor of him. But no, the work that he does is fantastic. He's a chemical and environmental engineer, and he does a lot of work in sustainability, innovation, and food manufacturing. And he assists businesses in attaining a B Corp certification. Have you ever heard of that at all?
No. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that measures a company's business practices in terms of the positive impact they're having and how they're treating their workers and how they impact the local community and sustainability issues. So I think he works with companies to improve their work practices so that they can get this B Corp certification, which sounds like a great initiative.
Do you know if that's an international certification or a local one?
I don't know that for sure, actually. No, I only learned of the certification recently, so I'll have to do a bit more research on it.
I'm curious because I haven't come across that one before. So,
and then he was named top young one of the top young engineers in the world in 2015, and he, like, once he turned vegan, then he chose to drive his passions for environmental and sustainability and veganism, and merge them with his career. So he'll be talking about his journey and how providing clear, simple, and impactful examples of how the plant-based diet can creates a world of good.
Excellent. And a world of good is what we need.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I think he'll be a fascinating speaker. And then another one that we have is Anthony Walsgott. So he's the founder of Save a Cow Foundation. Yes.
He's been a guest on the Vegan Hour.
Oh, excellent! Yeah. So I mean, that's you'd know well of his been a long time animal rights and vegan activist and a legal rights lawyer, and saved hundreds of cows and calves and bulls from slaughterhouses, and and he was instrumental in the Brisbane March to close slaughterhouses as well in 2016.
Yes, the march to close all slaughterhouses. Let me just add to that, to his talents. He's also a boxer and a hell of a good musician.
Yeah, so I've heard. Yeah.
He played a couple of songs when he was on the Vegan Hour that he'd written himself. He's a great guitar player and singer, and pretty interesting person all round.
Oh, right. So to use a musical pun, there's many strings to his bow.
You sound like a typical Irishman with your jokes.
don't get me started. It just all goes downhill very quickly.
It does, doesn't it? I'm the same breed, if that's the right word. But Anthony, yes, Anthony has saved, I think, over 300 cows, I think. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, yeah, which is amazing. You know, yes. Everyone we can save is work well done and worthwhile.
Yes, yeah. So a lot of respect to the tireless work he does. So that is awesome. So you've got Anthony and you've got Joey and you've got the Tammy and Wally Fry and the gentleman from Byron Bay, whose name escaped me.
James, it was, I think. James.
Yeah,
James Perrin. And then we have a lady by the name of Paige Renshaw. So she's an integrative nutrition health coach. Yeah. You know her?
Yes. Paige will actually be on the Vegan Hour in June. She is actually traveling down from the Sunshine Coast to do it in person with me at the Vegan Hour studio. So
good on her. Making me feel bad now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't understand why you didn't want to travel 3 hours to join me in person. But yeah, Paige is wonderful. She runs the whole connection. And
tell us more.
Well, actually, I wanted you to tell us more, but just while I think of it, she runs the whole connection and is responsible for Australia's first, I think it's coming up in October, Australia's first vegan cruise, leaving from Sydney in October. So that's pretty
awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is so exciting. It'd be like, how good would that be just to get on and like not have to worry and just rather than just being able to eat everything rather than going, well, what can I eat and what's left, and
it'll be like a Noosa Vegan Festival on water.
Exactly. There you go. Good man.
James Ashley will be there, so he'll probably be talking. So.
Yeah, and and James will actually be up on the Sunshine Coast on the 20th of April. There's an event the night before. There's a screening of new Australian documentary Dominion. Dominion, yes. Yeah, so that takes place at the Sunshine Coast University, I think.
Okay, so because I know the night before on the 19th they're screening it on the Gold Coast, and James will be on the Gold Coast for that one. So so maybe he'll pop his head in at the festival as well.
Yeah, hope so. That'd be excellent. Yeah. So just to go back and give about Paige and to give a bit of background on her. So yeah, Paige had been like lacking inner vitality and living through a roller coaster of feeling unwell for about 10 years, and then she decided to try and take back control of her life, but she did it through self-healing, self-love, and self-care, using nature as her guide, food as her pharmacy, and reconnecting with her inner knowledge and wisdom, which is crazy to think that's such a bizarre concept, and that we've become so disconnected that's not, intuitive or, the first port of call for people.
Yes, well said, actually. It is crazy that we've become society progressively over a long period of time. I'll say not become, I'll say became, I'm going to use past tense, became so disconnected from self-healing and the correct way of healing and the correct way of just living life in the first place. So, yeah.
Yeah, and through that, then Paige has overcome her chronic fatigue syndrome, her depression, and yo-yo weight fluctuations, which are all too common in our hectic modern society. So I think that'll be an area that'll a lot of people can associate with, and will be interested to hear her thoughts on it.
Yes, usually health-related topics are quite interesting to most people because, we all usually want to look at improving our health or making sure that we're taking care of our health the right way. Not diminishing, obviously, the ethical side of veganism, but just that there's always a strong interest in the health side as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, most vegans that you speak to, or heavily plant-based individuals, they will all say how their health and vitality and well-being improved, and not necessarily like with markers where that they got tested for, but just on how they feel in themselves, which I think is the biggest testament. If you just feel lighter and better and more energetic on a daily basis, I think that's just what most people are looking for. Definitely.
So from what I'm hearing so far, we're basically covering some really good areas here with the guest speakers, because you've got Joey covering activism, you've got James covering the environment. Would we say the environmental side of things, I guess?
Yeah, he'll cover that, the environmental and sustainability as well. Yeah,
and of course, Tammy and Wally were talking about their vegan journey and their business side of things, and then you've got Paige, talking about her journey as well, and how she's helping people out with all the information she provides through her website. I might just link to that while we're talking, then I'll put that in the comments. There's a comment come up there. Well, Melissa says, hello, Harry, Noosa Festival looks great. And Charlie says, so stoked the Vegan Festival is coming to Noosa. It needs it so badly, and only 5 minutes away from home. Awesome. Sounds like you'll be there, Charlie. That's good.
Don't forget to book your tickets online. Online sales close on the 15th of April. We'll have to make sure we mention that later on.
Yes, actually. Well, can we talk about that now? And maybe we can reiterate it again later.
Yeah, absolutely. So online tickets are available now and will close on the 15th of April. You'll be able to buy tickets on the door. And one of the other advantages, some of the advantages of buying online, so people don't wait till the last minute, is they are $15 on the day, but $10 online. So that's a bit of a saving. And then we do also have some packs that people can get, which are only available through the online purchase. The items will be available individually on the day, but the packs that we've put together are only available with the online sales.
Is that the show bags, or is that something else?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of different merchandise items. Everybody loves get themselves a bit of vegan merch,
Oh yeah.
So we've got well, and so we've got a show bag, and then we've got a festival T-shirt as well. So just to give you those prices, if you buy an adult entry and a T-shirt is $35. Entry plus a show bag is $25, or if you go entry, the T-shirt and the show bag is $47.
That's really good. What was the entry
Yeah.
plus the t-shirt? How much was that?
Entry and the t-shirt is 35.
Yeah, that's good. Good, yeah, good prices. Yeah. And entry and the show bag was
25.
25. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wow. Geez, I'm going to have to make the drive up there just so I can get a show bag and a shirt. What was it? Entry, show bag, and a shirt, $47. Done.
47, yeah, and then just each of them have a $3 booking fee as well. So just say I'll say that now so that you don't get caught out. Everything's got a booking fee these days. Yes,
yep, that's fair enough. That's now. I believe there's going to be some cooking demonstrations. Oh, actually,
that's
hang on,
right.
Before we talk about that, have we covered all the speakers?
No, we haven't. But I'll just, while we're on the subject of the merchandise and the show bags, we do have one other item. We're going to have a reusable coffee mug. It's a beautiful glass mug with a nice cork surround and a lovely lid on the top as well. I'm not sure if it's 8 ounce or 12 ounce, but that will be available on the day as well. If you go onto the
in Australia.
Well, that's the coffee. If you drink coffee, it goes 8 and 12 ounces. So,
hey, you can tell I'm not a coffee drinker.
Exactly. There you go. You have enough energy as it is. You don't need to be any more hyper.
I have too much.
Yeah.
So
that's what 38 years as a vegan does to you.
That's right. All your hair falls out, but you have too much energy. So back to the coffee mug. So that's available?
Yeah, that is available. And also we encourage everybody to bring all of their reusable containers. We are, trying to be as obviously environmentally and sustainably responsible as possible. So we want to make it a plastic-free event. So, bring your reusable mugs if you have one. Buy one if you don't have one. Bring your containers for any leftovers or anything like that. We will obviously have all the recycling bins there, and they'll be designated. So just encourage people to use the right bin as much as they can.
And if I come along, can I bring my reusable jokes?
Depends which ones. You'll have to send them to me in advance, and I'll have to approve them.
Done. All right, so we skipped there to merchandise. Are we talking about any more speakers?
Yeah, we'll continue with the speakers. I do want to come back and talk about some of our great sponsors that we have in terms of the show bag and the overall event as well. So we'll come back to them before we finish up. Well, one of the other speaking things we have is we've got a fitness panel. So we'll have a Q&A style panel. We have a great range of and diversity of people on there. So do you mind if I go ahead and tell you about some of them?
Please, I'm very curious.
Yeah, so one of the first guests we've got is a gentleman by the name of Matt Grills. He goes by the Instagram handle Adventures in Activism. So he's an ultra runner and a vegan activist. And this weekend he's down in Victoria. He's doing a race called the Down Under 135, which is a 135-mile running race, which is Australia's and the Southern Hemisphere's one of the toughest foot races. So it's a non-stop event, and competitors will cross across Leederburg and the Wombat State Forest in Victoria, sort of west of Melbourne. And yeah, so it's 135 miles, which is 217 kilometers with a total elevation gain of 9,000 meters. And to put that into perspective, so anyone, if you're listening on the Sunshine Coast, like Mount Coolum is about 200 meters of elevation gain. So to get 9,000 meters, you'd have to do it 45 times, and then main warning down your direction is has a 700-meter elevation gain. So that's you'd have to do it 13 times to get that gain. So quite an achievement. So he's got all that vertical climbing in the midst of running 217 kilometers.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
insane. Over what time period does that race take place?
So that starts on Saturday, and that'll be all day Saturday and Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Matt's also runs a cafe up in Bagara, where he's from, called The Journey in Bagara. That's a vegan cafe as well.
So Bagara has a vegan cafe.
It does, yeah. So get onto it.
Wow, that's amazing. It's been a long time since I've been up there. Bagara, from memory, is just south of Bundaberg, I think.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Yeah, so it's been many years been up there.
That's been open for about a year now. So that's going from strength to strength up there.
What was I'm going to write that down. What was the name of that cafe again?
The Journey.
The Journey. Good name. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you, Peter, while we're talking about it, do you know if that's a fully vegan place or if it's a vegetarian and vegan place?
Well, I'll tell you, it is probably about 99.9% recurring vegan. The only thing that he does is he serves dairy milk in his coffees.
Coffee, yeah.
And like I interviewed Matt recently, and
that much.
Yeah. But yeah, look, I can understand Matt's reasons, and he offers a discount for the plant-based milks, and he's seen a great transition of people adopting the plant-based milks because of the discount. And and it just goes to show that, you know, as more plant-based companies and products come along and the demand for them increases, the prices will come down. And once the prices are the same, you know, people are going to, once they become price competitive, people are going to go towards it because it's going to be cheaper, and it's just going to be win-win.
Just having a vegan cafe in Bagara is amazing in any case. I think that's incredible.
And it's allowed him just to open up the conversation, and people have tried all the food and felt amazing, and he's just the stories up there are just brilliant. So future Vegan Hour guest for you there, right? Just
that is excellent. Now I just have to do something for a minute, which I don't normally do when I'm doing the Vegan Hour live from the studio, but I just have to take leave of my
faculties
because it's a little bit embarrassing, but I may have drunk way too many cups of tea, and I'm looking at the clock. I'm not going to make it to the end. So a slight apology, Peter, that I'm going to have to leave you on your own for about a minute.
Okay, no worries.
Sorry, viewers. I'll be back in just a minute, and I'm sure when the YouTube video is done, I'm going to edit this bit out.
I can continue and
please do,
and talk about some of our other guests on the fitness panel, if you like.
Please do, and I'll be back in just a minute. Thank you, Peter.
Brilliant, no worries. So the next guest on the fitness panel is going to be Brad Dalrymple. Brad is he's from Brisbane, but his parents live in Noosa, so he's and grew up in Noosa. So he's a Noosa local basically, but he's training for Ultraman Australia, which is taking place in Noosa in May. The Ultraman is a triathlon event, but it incorporates 10 kilometers of swimming, 420 kilometers of cycling, and 84 kilometers of running over 3 days. Brad's been competing in triathlons for many years and went vegan maybe almost two or 3 years ago. He's an environmental engineer. He's manager of the urban water team at a Brisbane environmental engineering consultancy group, and he's the former president of Stormwater Queensland. So he's well positioned to talk about sustainability and environmentalism as well, and it'd be great to hear about his vegan journey. And then also joining us, welcome back, Harry. How are you?
Sorry about that, folks. That's an incredibly embarrassing thing for the host to have to do.
That's all good. I was just telling them there about one of our other guests is Brad Dalrymple, who's a Noosa local. He's an environmental engineer that operates down in Brisbane, and he's training for Ultraman Australia, which is a triathlon which takes place in May up there. And
hopefully they don't have to run over 200 kilometres for that one.
Well, not close. I was just explaining that it's an event, a 515 kilometre event held over 3 days, which incorporates 10 kilometres of swimming, 420 kilometres of cycling, and 84 kilometres of running. So, no mean feat by any means.
Let me just do this.
Yeah.
That is incredible. I just, there's a couple of funny comments coming there. Just Cameron says from one host to another, and then when you got to go, you got to go. And yeah, boy, I'm sorry, guys, I had to go. I usually make sure I don't drink too much water or anything before I do a vegan hour, but because I'm at home, I was a bit more relaxed. And anyway,
yeah.
Please continue, Peter.
So the next guest then is Dr. Carmen Atkinson. She's also training for the Ultraman event. She started in it last year, but she had a fall on the bike, so she had to pull out from the event. So she's back for revenge and training the house down here on the Sunshine Coast.
This Dr. Carmen Atkinson, was that her name?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is she also vegan? Is she?
She is vegan. Yeah.
So there's another vegan doctor that I didn't know of.
Well, she's a chiropractor.
Okay, a vegan chiropractor, and she's based on the Sunshine Coast?
Sunshine Coast, yeah. So a doctor of chiropractic rather than a doctor of medicine, I presume.
Okay, that would be a good person to put a link to her, maybe after if you've got a link to her Facebook page, if she's got one, maybe after the live stream's finished, you could link that into the comments, so that anyone that's interested in a vegan chiropractor on the Sunshine Coast,
absolutely.
Yeah, that is fantastic. That's all these little pieces of information just become more and more helpful to people. So
yeah, and so and you know, beyond obviously being a fantastic athlete, she has an interesting backstory, and she's a public speaker as well, but she speaks a lot about one of her keynote speeches is life beyond anorexia, her journey from the depths of anorexia to athletic success. So it'll be quite interesting to hear, not only about her training, but also about that background as well.
Yes, yeah. This the more you tell me about the festival, the more excited I am to be there. It sounds great.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. Like on the like we've such a depth of speakers and guests and everything like that. It's just amazing, and I'm sure, like, no matter where you go, you could hold a vegan festival, and I'm sure you could find these great stories everywhere. These people will probably tell you, well, they're not anybody special. Well, you may, it may sound from listening to me introducing them like, well, God, these people sound just like, out of sight, but they just say, well, this is just me, this is just my life. And when you compact it into a story like that, it sounds pretty good. But yeah, we all have a story, and there's people like that everywhere.
I like what you said there too. Just the fact that you could, maybe put a festival anywhere and find people like this. That's a fantastic reflection of the way that the world has changed in recent years when it comes to vegan awareness and also health awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just need to, talk to each other a bit more. And if you take the time to have a conversation between, beyond the weather or what's going on in the newspapers, you can find amazing things out about people.
And people that are in this case, the ones we're talking about at the moment, people that are really pushing the extremes of the endurance of the body.
Yeah, that's right, and that's another point that Carmen talks about is the amazing ability that we all have within our bodies, and very rarely actually gets to be explored. So it'll be great to hear their inspiration in relation to that.
There's a good question that's just come up. See if it'll load. Hang on, it's not loading on the screen, is it? I was trying to. No, it's not showing the question. But what it was from Coralie that says, "Can we get some veggie chips in the show bags?" Well, obviously, that's something I'd have to organise. But yeah, I don't know if the show bags are already signed off. Do you know if they're signed off on as far as what's going in them?
No, we're still open for entries in that sense. Yeah, still looking for sponsors and additions to it. I have I wanted to. I think they might already be in there. I'm not sure. I'm just looking here at my notes. Yeah, no, we do. So we've got veggie chips in the show bags. Yeah, actually, before we finish up, I'm just conscious of the time ticking away, so I want to make sure we mention the sponsors and who's in those, because obviously without those people, the festival wouldn't get off the ground.
Okay, can we talk
the great patrons?
Should we mention them now?
Yeah, well, I'll just finish up on the fitness panel. Our few others. So we've got two other guests. We've got a local calisthenics coach called by the name of Aberdeen Mahad. His nickname is Abs. So that's a good nickname to have as a fitness coach. So he went vegan 3 years ago and has been a personal trainer and worked in the fitness industry for 7 years and trained in various different modalities from bodybuilding to weightlifting, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So he's got a great range of experience, and he's opened up a calisthenics gym in Noosa, but his main focus is on not just purely on training for the sake of training, but getting our body back to move as optimally as possible. So trying to get that limberness and suppleness in our bodies to be adaptable to all situations. So he incorporates calisthenics and yoga and all his different training that he's done over the years. So that's a great facility that he's opened up there, which is great. Yeah, and he incorporates all aspects of it. So like his one of the, I suppose, his ethos is to combine all the elements of, was it earth, fire, wind, and water. So it's all working in all the proper areas. So sometimes it's strength, sometimes it's flexibility, and just getting our body back to work as optimally as possible. Yeah, excellent. So he'll have a lot of insight there as well. And then we have Rafa Miyashiro, who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, and he is the director of Legacy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on the Sunshine Coast, and he's currently preparing for a couple of Championships. He on the 24th of April, 2 days after the festival, he heads to the World Pro in Abu Dhabi, and then on to the European Masters a week later. So
Wow.
he's a fighter and a trainer as well, and he works a lot with especially loves to work with young people, helping them get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and to instill good values in them in terms of eating and awareness and environmental consciousness, and obviously veganism as well.
Wow, that's an impressive list of, so far from what I've heard, of presenters and people on the health panel. Wow.
Yeah, and then we've got Tammy Fry. I think will be on the athlete panel as well. So just Tammy is just going back up to get the right credentials for her. So she's current Australian Open and Queensland Karate champion. And a keen CrossFitter as well. So not only killing it in the business game, but killing it in the fitness game as well.
Wow, you just got
amazing.
You've got to love the Fries. I mean, they're just awesome at what they've achieved. Wow,
that's it. Yeah. So going back to wanting to get it our sponsors and our showbag sponsors. One of our major sponsors is obviously is the Fry's Family Food Company, who we have talked about extensively already. So obviously very grateful to them and their involvement, and Wally and Tammy will both be speaking. And then one of our other major sponsors is Cafe Nurture, who you're familiar with from Maroochydore. So anybody that's not familiar with Cafe Nurture, they're a family owned and operated business. It's 100% plant based vegan cafe and shop as well. Everything is made on site from scratch by their dedicated team of chefs and kitchen staff, and just the food there is absolutely amazing, and the treats and cakes and I've had the good fortune of working there myself for the past few months, and it's just the environment and the atmosphere is just fantastic, and their ethos of the family just really
the lady's name from there, but I met her when I was there.
The owner?
Yes.
Kay Halligan?
Actually, it doesn't sound familiar. I might be mixing up Cafe Nurture with New Earth Cafe.
Oh, okay, righto. So Nurture was founded by Matt and his mom, and they started with a small shop in Maroochydore, Matt running the shop and Kay doing the treatments, and they moved to the bigger site where they are on Wises Road in Maroochydore, and it's just really grown and thrived, and the amount of animal lives they've saved by having a business like this, and obviously the human lives that they've saved by providing such an amazing array of food. And it's amazing. I get to speak to some of the customers, and you hear their journey and how they love coming in there, and how going vegan and plant-based has changed their lives. And it just it's amazing every day getting to hear those stories.
It's very inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and they've just had a kitchen refurb as well, and they've expanded, so it's going from strength to strength. So very, very grateful and delighted to have them on board.
Excellent, that is great. A couple of very good sponsors there at the top of the list. Yeah,
and then so I'll mention a few of the ingredients that we'll have in the show bag to get people excited. So we've got raw sea, which do coconut water in all various forms, and coconut oils. We've got Cliff Bar, which needs no introduction to avid vegans. We've got veggie chips.
Yes.
We've got We've got the Human Bean Co. So they do fava bean snacks. So like different flavors, salted, salt and vinegar, pizza flavor, barbecue, as well. So I'm keen to try them out.
Yeah.
And we've got Emma and Tom's, who do juices and bars. We've got Rappa, which are reusable food wraps. Have you heard of them?
No. Tell us about that.
Oh, but they look so good. They're reusable food wraps, and they have a 6 to 12 month lifespan. And then they're 100% biodegradable, and so it just comes as like a little sheet, and then you can make it into pockets, or you can wrap it around bowls, and just the heat from your hands molds it to the bowl. And then they've really cool little designs and artwork on them as well. So it's not just like you're playing cling wrap and then you just wipe it clean. Yeah, you should go and have a look at them. It's awesome what they do. Rappa. So WRAPPA.
Wow. Okay. I've got to check that one out.
Yeah. And then I'll continue on. So we've got the Chia Company, who do all manner of chia related products and snacks. Hemp Foods Australia, Vegan Pet. So Vegan Pet do complete dry foods, contains no animal products or byproducts. And that's also a good point for anybody with pets. That can also be an area of debate and conversation about raising vegan pets.
Yes.
Should you, shouldn't you? So yeah, they'll be there, and other pet companies, so you can ask them all your questions about that as well.
So you just said other vegan pet companies as well?
Yeah, I think there'll be. I think there's another vegan pet company. I've got my full list of companies here. So
okay, but I'm certainly always keen to debate the merits of having vegan pets, having had several myself. So yeah. So
debate or
just inform people. I'm always happy to. I like to do it. I'm not going to do it now, but I certainly am always keen if anyone wants to ask me online or in person about the merits of having vegan pets. I've had 2 vegan dogs. I've got a vegan cat now, and yes, it's for them it's a lot healthier. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, it'd be interesting to hear more about that, but we'll keep that for another day. We will. And then another major sponsor that I just wanted to mention is Vegan Web Design. Are you familiar with them? For a minute then, I thought it might have been someone here from the Gold Coast. I'm not sure where they're located, but so they specialize in working with ethical professionals, vegan businesses, and not-for-profit organizations. They do digital strategy, design, and development, and then offer ongoing support as well. So it's a totally vegan company. So they understand the ethos behind what they do. They work obviously with other vegan companies, optimize everything to get you the right traffic and get the business in front of the right people. It can be the hardest thing when you're starting a business is there's enough things to be worrying about, let alone. Sorry, there's a comment from Dave just confirming that Vegan Web Design are on the Sunshine Coast. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Yeah. Excellent. That is great. I'm conscious of the time because we're coming up to. So, how are we going for sponsors there? So that was the last major sponsor I wanted to mention. Obviously, the show bags. They are just some of the major ones at the moment. Obviously, we'll have others in there as well. And there are some other surprises and little aces up the sleeve that we have, so we can't give everything away. Peter, can you quickly tell us about some of the food vendors that'll be there, just very briefly? Yeah, sure thing. Let me see who we got there so far. So we've got Coco's Coffee, we've got Donut Kitchen, Elixir Bar, Falafel, Baraka. We've got Go Vegan with Jeddah. We've got Good Food Truck. Yeah.
Yes.
We've got
Yeah.
in the Soulshine, Nutty Nut Cheeses, Pachamama Pizzas. Yeah, Rawlicious Cakes. What else have we got? Tibet Food King.
Wow. All the way from Tibet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
A long way to come for one day.
Yeah, but look, that's a testament to the festival itself. You know, he's obviously, it's going to be good. So
this is going to be a fantastic festival. You got food, you've got the fitness panel there, you've got the speakers, you've got the show bags, you've got wonderful sponsors. I'm excited.
Yeah, and then we didn't even get to talk about the wonderful cooking demonstrations that we have as well, and we have a great range of musicians also. So
actually, it's good to leave a little bit of a surprise for people.
Yeah,
cooking demonstrations and the musicians and that. But all of this information is on the Noosa Vegan Festival Facebook page, which
correct.
I shared a link to in the comments at the beginning, and I think I can probably share a link in the comments again. Let's just pop it in here and see if this works. Yes, that's working. Excellent. Is there anything you'd like to finish off with? Because we're going to wind up now. So
yeah. I think maybe just to reiterate the closing date for the online sales, which is the 15th of April. And
I'll get you to put a link for that afterwards.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
No problems at all.
Right.
Yeah, so Peter, that's pretty much covered everything.
Excellent. I'm really. You were right when you said that it would take more than an hour to talk about it, and
yeah.
But we're going to have to wind up things. So I want to thank you very much for taking the time out to tell me about and tell everyone about the festival, and also for helping out with the festival with everything you're doing, because it's just over 2 weeks' time. So I'm excited about it. So once again, go to the link that I put in the comments just then, folks, and you can find out more. And I'm just going to wind up by saying thank you to everyone that's commented and watched tonight, and that in 2 weeks' time, on the 17th of April, I have vegan coach Kamina Wust, if that's how you pronounce her surname, who has been vegan from birth, and she's 30 years old. So she is going to be a very interesting person to hear from as well. So Peter, thank you once again. And this has
Thanks, Harry. Yeah, it's been great.
Of the Vegan Hour. And this will be on YouTube in the next couple of days. So thanks, guys. Thank you to everyone that was watching. Remember to live vegan. There we go. Live vegan and save lives. And we'll speak to you soon. Good night.
Bye.